Amara walks home through a biting snowstorm, her worn camel trench coat failing against the cold, her cracked leather satchel over one shoulder. She rounds the corner of the Meridian and stops. Luca Valentini, the most feared name in the Italian syndicate, the man whose presence empties rooms, is sitting on the grand marble entrance steps in the snow. His Brioni suit is dusted white. His signet ring is gone. Ferrara sets down 2 cardboard boxes, delivers the verdict of the Valentini family, and drives away. Amara watches from the shadows. She should leave. She steps forward instead. "You can stay with me." He searches her face for the price. Finds none. Nods once. The world shifts on its axis. The invisible woman and the fallen king establish Amara's world. 10 hours shifts on her feet, polishing marble floors and chrome fixtures that cost more than her life, wearing her crisp black dress uniform and ivory linen apron like a costume of invisibility. Establish Luca's mythic reputation, the man in the Armani suit who dismisses rivals with a glance, whose dark wavy hair and scarred brow signal danger before he speaks. Then the fall. The contrast. The compassion in Amara that overrides every sensible instinct. She helps him carry his boxes to the bus stop. Other passengers give them wide berth. He carries the heavier box. They ride in silence. The panther in the small room. Luca moves through Amara's tiny apartment like a caged predator, too large, too still, too dangerous for the space. He does not sleep. He sits on her worn sofa, which looks comically small beneath his frame, and stares at the wall all night. When dawn comes, he has removed his Brioni jacket, folding it with precise care, and rolled the sleeves of his white silk shirt to his forearms, revealing the black serpent tattoo coiling toward his elbow, red eyes catching the pale morning light. He says her name, Amara, for the first time over a black coffee in a chipped mug. It sounds possessive. She feels it is like a searing brand. Wolves at the window. A sleek black car appears across the street. Wrong neighborhood, wrong energy, tinted windows that watch without blinking. Luca identifies it instantly, Marco's men. He has no money, no allies, no weapons, no power. He is a king with no kingdom. That night a nightmare shreds through the quiet apartment, and he cries out a single name: Sofia. Amara brings him water. Their fingers brush over the glass. He tells her the truth at last. He walked away from his entire empire willingly, not because he lost, but because Marco took Sofia. His surrender was the price of his sister's safety, and his reward is to be hunted to extinction. She lied for him. Marco's men go door to door through Amara's building, showing a photograph on a phone screen. They are 1 floor below. Amara makes the decision with quiet, absolute certainty. She will stand between the wolves and the man they are hunting. Nobody deserves to be alone when the wolves are at the door. The knock comes. The door swings open. Luca moves with a brutal, silent choreography that leaves 2 men on her floor and a gun in his hand. Her apartment is now a crime scene. They run out the back, into the snowy alley, into a city that is no longer safe for either of them. The motel and the truth. A grimy motel on the industrial outskirts. Buzzing red neon. Peeling wallpaper. The adrenaline drains away and reality floods, and Amara is an accomplice, a fugitive, her quiet, ordered life in ruins. Luca kneels before her on the cold floor, his dark eyes level with hers, and asks the question he cannot stop asking: why? She tells him the truth she had been hiding from herself. She stayed because she could not stand the thought of him facing it alone. He leans forward and rests his forehead against hers, eyes closed, breath warm against her lips. It is more intimate than any kiss. The red neon flickers. The city outside does not exist. Her face on the screen. Morning. The small staticky motel television fills with Amara's employee ID photo. She is a person of interest in a violent assault. She is to be considered in the company of Luca Valentini, armed and dangerous. Marco has not just hunted Luca. He has made Amara the bait. Her name, her face, her freedom weaponized. The dynamic shifts irrevocably. There is no away from this anymore. Their survival is now one thing, not 2. She refuses to run separately. They are chained together. And Amara's mind, sharp and observant from 2 years of invisibility at the Meridian, is already turning over a memory: an old man, a rooftop garden, a special elevator key. The old guard. Amara describes Senior Ricci, the elderly man who tended the Meridian's rooftop garden, whom everyone treated as a servant, but whom Luca always greeted with a respectful bow. Marco fired him the day he seized power. Luca's eyes snapped to hers. They used their last cash for a burner phone. One call. The meeting is set in a closed restaurant in the heart of Little Italy, dark, smelling of stale wine and garlic. Senior Ricci rises and bows deeply when Luca enters. "Young master, I knew you would not fall so easily." He reveals Marco's fatal weakness, a secret ledger. Treacherous dealings with a rival family. Locked in the penthouse safe at the Meridian. The maid goes back in. The plan is insane. Then Amara pulls her master cleaning key card from her cracked leather satchel, forgotten in the chaos of her eviction from her own life. It will not pass the lobby guards. But it will open the service elevator. And the penthouse. Senior Ricci kills the security cameras for exactly 10 minutes. Luca clears the parking garage. Then it is Amara's turn. She puts on her black dress uniform, her ivory linen apron, her scuffed black ankle boots, the costume of invisibility she has worn her whole life. She walks the service corridors of the Meridian, every shadow a threat, every sound a held breath. She swipes the card. Green light. The elevator opens. She finds the safe. She opens it. The ledger is there. Then the private elevator chimes and the doors slide open. Marco Valentini steps into the penthouse. He smiles. "The maid," he says. "My brother always did have a soft spot for the help." It was a trap. Amara saw it in the way Marco smiled, too calm, too ready, the smile of a man who had already won and was simply waiting for the curtain to rise on his victory. He had known they were coming. He had let them come. He had the guards. He had the ledger back in his hands. He had Amara cornered against the desk with nowhere to run and nothing to bargain with. The penthouse, Luca's penthouse, the throne room of everything he had built, had become the stage for his final humiliation. "The maid," Marco said, his voice dripping with a cold, aristocratic amusement that made her skin crawl. He tilted his head, studying her the way a man studies something he is about to discard. "My brother always did confuse sentiment for strategy. It was always going to be his undoing." He raised his hand. His guards moved forward. The floor-to-ceiling window behind him exploded inward. The sound was enormous, a detonation of glass and winter air that filled the room like a thunderclap. Shards caught the light as they fell, a brief, violent constellation. The cold night rushed in, carrying snow, carrying the sounds of the city far below, carrying him. Luca landed in a crouch on the wreckage-strewn floor, the window-washing rope still swinging behind him in the dark. The gun from the motel was in his hand, steady as a surgeon's instrument. His midnight suit was torn at the shoulder. There was a cut above his scarred brow, a thin line of dark red against pale skin. His dark eyes swept the room in less than a second. Guards, Marco, Amara, and the calculus of it was done before anyone else had finished processing that he was there at all. He rose from the crouch slowly, deliberately. And the man who had been sitting broken on marble steps in the snow, the man with 2 cardboard boxes and no ring on his finger, was simply gone. This was Luca Valentini. The original. The one Marco had never actually defeated, only displaced. "Brother," Marco said. To his credit, his voice barely wavered. "You should have stayed gone. This is already finished." "Yes," Luca said quietly. "It is." What followed was not a conversation. It was not a negotiation. It was the settling of an account that had been open for too long. Luca moved through Marco's guards the way weather moves through a doorway, not asking permission, not slowing down. 2 precise, devastating engagements. Both men down. The gun never fired. He didn't need it to. Then it was only the brothers, standing among the ruin of shattered glass and overturned furniture, the cold night wind moving through the broken window between them, the city blazing gold and indifferent 40 floors below. Marco raised his own weapon. You gave up everything for Sofia, he said, his composure finally beginning to fray at the edges. And she is still mine. You cannot win this. I already have, Luca said. Signor Ricci has the elders. The ledger is on its way to every captain who ever doubted you. Your deal with the Russo family. He let that land. I watched Marco's face change. They know Marco. They have known for the last hour. There is nothing left for you to hold. Marco's jaw tightened. The gun in his hand shifted away from Luca, toward Amara. Then I'll take what matters most to you, he said. He never got the chance. The single shot was clean and final, the sound swallowed almost immediately by the vast, indifferent city below. Marco crumpled, clutching his shoulder, his weapon skittering across the marble floor. He was alive. Luca had chosen that deliberately. A dead man couldn't answer to the elders, couldn't be made to account for what he had done to Sofia, couldn't face the consequences of his own treachery in the way that would hurt him most profoundly and permanently. Luca Valentini did not give his brother the mercy of a quick ending. He gave him something far worse. A reckoning. Marco sat on the floor of the penthouse he had stolen, bleeding and diminished, and the empire he had seized through treachery dissolved around him in real time as the sound of footsteps. Signor Ricci, the loyal captains, the old guard returning filled the corridors below.